أهلا بكم مشاهدي ايتك عبر قناة الحرة. هذا الأسبوع نحن معكم من العاصمة الأمريكية واشنطن ضمن تغطية خاصة وحصرية بايتك لمعرض فوسي 2010، المعرض المتخصص بتقنيات الحكومات والأجهزة الأمنية. مجموعة من اللقاءات والتقارير بانتظاركم. قبل أن نبدأ كالعادة نتواصل دائما عبر بريدنا الإلكتروني itek@alhurra.com. يمكن مشاهدة هذه الحلقة وحلقات أخرى من ايتك في أي وقت على موقع يوتيوب وهو youtube.com/الحرة. آخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج تابعوها دائما من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتك شو. قبل أن ندخل للقاءات المعرض، ماذا سنشاهد معنا اليوم في ايتك من فوسي 2010؟ لسرية المعلومات تلفي الأقراص الصلبة علميا. بيئة افتراضية لحماية المعلومات من الفقدان. حرارة جسم الإنسان تكشف الممنوعات. مراكز قيادة لمراقبة شبكات المعلومات. أجهزة صلبة للاستعمالات الوعيرة. للحماية من تسريب المعلومات المهمة ولأغراض أمنية يعمل على تلف الأقراص الصلبة هارد ديسك التي تحتوي على هذه المعلومات بطرق علمية مدروسة. شركة غارنر قدمت أجهزة لهذا الغرض، منها PD4 HD2 HD3 WXL.
We have our best-selling line of degaussers. We're one of the leading brands in the world for the degaussing industry. One of our popular items is the HD2. It has a drawer. It's one of our entry-level degaussers. You put the item in the drawer, shut the drawer, and push erase. This one takes about 60 seconds to erase the tape. It works like a camera. You have a camera flash, it has capacitors so it charges, and then it releases the energy into the field, and that erases the hard drive, or some of the popular tapes too. This is our most popular degausser, the HD3 WXL. It takes a larger variety of hard drives and things, and it's set up for automation, so it's door activated, so the cycle starts when you open the door, and it's also very safe to other electronics. And my phone didn't even hesitate or whatever when that went off. And cycle's done, so 300 per hour. So we have big agencies that have these and they can process them. Well, when a hard drive is destroyed, sometime there are little bits on the PCB board of data that can be recovered. So if you break the PCB board, that's an extra level of security. And for some people, just breaking the hard drive is good. But even a hard drive that hasn't been through the degausser, if it's at this level right here, broken up, is still pretty much 80–90% recoverable. But it's very expensive. You could spend $5,000 to $10,000 per drive to get the data. If it's important data, you could get it. This is the PD4, and it physically destroys the hard drive. It has a big wedge that gets the PCB board and the platters and pretty much all of it, and it wrecks it, but it also keeps it together for the recycling process. So push the destroy button and watch it go. And when it's done, of course, the PCB board is broken, and you can see inside that the platters are bent. So it's pretty much a good destruction. And then it's ready to put the next item in. Now this, even though it's a simple thing, crushing, and it has a huge amount of pressure on it, it still has a lot of sophisticated electronics. It has sensors in the door to make sure that the door is not open when it goes up. It has sensors in the back to deal with the different types and sizes of drives. So the wedge comes down to the appropriate area to crush every time. Is www.garnerproducts.com.
للحفاظ على المعلومات والتأكد من عدم فقدانها يجب نسخها بطريقة علمية حرفية وحفظها في مكان آمن ضمن البيئة الافتراضية Virtualization. هذا ما قدمته إركيرا في فوسي 2010 هنا بواشنطن. من خلال برنامج جديد نتورك أركيرا باك اب فيرجن 8.2 وجهاز أركيرا Edgefort.
We're launching our version 8.2, which actually introduces things such as deduplication that I just had mentioned. We're also going to be making a very strong push going forward into the virtualization markets as well. Deduplication satisfies a problem that a lot of our customers have, in that the backups while running over their networks are actually clogging those networks with the backed up data. This is impacting performance, and so with a feature like deduplication, we're able to only back up the information that has changed on the particular network. Virtualization. Our virtualization is making a big push in today's network environments. Arkeia, in being able to support virtual environments as well as physical environments, allow a safety net to be created as these companies move to a virtual environment. By running multiple servers on a specific piece of hardware and adjusting our retention policies for our physical environment, we're able to create that safety net for those administrators. Should anything go wrong, they still have the ability to restore either that physical environment or to that virtual environment, allowing them to continue on with their productions. What we would do as far as backing up the data is we would configure what's called a save pack. And that save pack is a container with all of the parameters that you have for backing up just the data, as much data or as little data as you find important to be backed up. In doing so, we can ensure that, like I mentioned with deduplication, we're only backing up the data that you are concerned with. So this data would be scheduled in the Arkeia Network Backup Suite. That can be initiated, it can be on a scheduled or an immediate basis, and depending on what you are writing that data to, we can either back that up to a series of tape drives, as has been done historically, or, as seems to be more prevalent going forward, we can also write those to either disk or to a cloud storage unit or off-site location. Arkeia is very focused on the speed with which we're able to back up. Not only the speed with which we back up, but also the speed with which we can restore that physical appliance in the event of a disaster that needs to be rebuilt. By supporting multiple flows, we can back up multiple servers simultaneously, which allows your backup window to be shortened greatly. We run on a Linux or Unix platform, but are able to back up Windows, Mac, Unix, Linux, BSD, Solaris, any number of operating systems out there. This is our Edgefort appliance. Arkeia has just launched a line of physical servers to complement our software for not only companies who don't have additional hardware to run our software piece on, but also for companies who may not be familiar with administration on a Linux appliance. So by using the Edgefort, you can bring this into your network with almost a turnkey solution. Plugging that into your network allows you to basically just connect with any of the clients on your network and back up here locally, as well as a ease of use factor in sending that information off to an offsite location as well, should you desire. I would suggest going to www.arkeia.com. All of our software and our virtual appliances are all available for download on a 30-day trial.
مع تشديد الإجراءات الأمنية اليوم في المطارات والمؤسسات الحكومية، قدمت شركة كينيتيك جهاز جديد للبحث يحافظ على خصوصية الفرد، يعمل بتكنولوجيا مليمتر ويف، يعتمد على تبدل حرارة جسم الإنسان لمعرفة إمكانية وجود ممنوعات تحت ملابسه. لنتعرف كيف.
We're presenting our FOSE 7 technology, which is a person-born threat detection system. It's using millimeter wave technology, which is detecting the temperature difference between your body and something blocking your body. If something's blocking your body's natural emissions or your body's temperature, then a threat bar will be displayed. It's going to be a green, amber, or red threat bar. And if the threat bar is displayed as green, then there's no threat present. If it's displayed as yellow, it's a possible threat present, and you might want to scan that person a little bit further. And if there's a red threat bar, then there's definitely something present. And then you go into your standard operating procedures and you start doing your secondary procedures or your secondary screening for that person. It detects actually from 9 to 33 feet. There's a wide field of view camera that can look out to up to 50 feet. And the wide field of view camera is just so that you can get everybody in your view, so that if somebody's acting suspicious, you can start focusing that person out to 50 feet. And then once they get into that 33-foot range, then you can start looking at them a little bit closer and actually scanning them with the system. So there's a sensor head, and then there's 2 cameras within the sensor head. There's a narrow field of view camera, which is what you look at a person with. There's also a low light camera, so they can be used in dark conditions, or it can be used outdoors as well, which is what the shield is for. So it's protected from rain or any pollutants getting on it from outside. There's a wide field of view camera, which is right here. These 2 cameras up here are what you use to scan. This is actually your sensor head. So this is the sensor that sends out 2 beams. One beam is detecting your body's natural temperature, and the other beam is looking, is there something blocking your body's temperature? And so that's how it'll get the threat bar. There's also a calibration pod. The calibration pod, the sensor tells you when it needs to be calibrated by displaying on the screen, please calibrate. And you would press the buttons to calibrate the system. The system only needs to be calibrated when it's first turned on, and if the ambient temperature changes plus or minus 2 degrees. We're going to demonstrate somebody smuggling money. We have a money belt. This is simulating the ACE bandage that somebody would wrap around them. Right now I'm going to scan up her body to see if she has any drugs or money on her. And you can see that it detects red. And you can also take a snapshot with the system. So you'll have a snapshot display right there of what she actually has on her. You can't see what the actual threat is. It just alarms what she has on. And I'm going to demonstrate if she had it underneath clothing, which is what a typical money bomber would have. Show that it detects again. And again, I was able to get a snapshot of what she had on. And again, it doesn't tell you what she has. It just shows you that something is there.
مشاهدي ايتاك عبر قناة الحرة، نتابع معنا التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتاك لمعرض فوسي 2010 المتخصص بتقنية الحكومات والأجهزة الأمنية. سنشاهد معا بعد الفاصل مراكز قيادة لمراقبة شبكات المعلومات، أجهزة صلبة للاستعمالات الوعية. تتابعون ايتاك عبر الحرة والحرة.com ويوتيوب.com/الحرة، وآخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتاك شو. تتابعون ايتاك عبر الحرة والحرة.com ويوتيوب.com/الحرة، وآخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج من خلال فيسبوك وتويتر على ايتاك شو. نعود إليكم مشاهدي ايتاك عبر قناة الحرة لمتابعة التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بايتاك لمعرض فوسي 2010 هنا في العاصمة واشنطن، المعرض المتخصص بتقنية الحكومات والأجهزة الأمنية. سنشاهد معا الآن مراكز قيادة لمراقبة شبكات المعلومات، أجهزة صلبة للاستعمالات الوعية. هناك كم هائل من المعلومات يوميا يجب توزيعها من خلال شبكة اتصال كبيرة لكي تتشارك بها إدارات عديدة وتعمل على جمعها وتحليلها، وهذه العملية تشجع التعاون بين الإدارات المختلفة. هذا ما قدمته شركة Activu اليوم في فوسي 2010 بواشنطن.
We are featuring Activu 5.0. It's our latest software module, and it has a lot of new intuitive tools for operators to use in a control room environment for collaboration and information sharing. We have a new feature called Team Share, where it allows the operator to create a clipboard and take content and dump it into that clipboard and share it with other people in the network, and also to put it on a large display. So it has a whiteboarding capability along with the text messaging. It's an IP-based solution. We take the users' workstations on their network and we pull their video and display it on a visualization display DLP wall or an LCD panel somewhere else on the network. Some of the benefits is that you're not limited by cable length. You can send things across the campus or across the WAN. So, and there's basically infinite growth. So you're not limited by the size of the box, the number of inputs. You can just keep adding sources as you need them. Our users would be an operator in a security operations center, or an analyst in a fusion center, or a traffic management person watching traffic cameras and light signaling in a typical city. Our servers that drive these displays sit on the customer's network, and that enables us to grab their content and display it. We use FIPS encryption. We use a 256-bit encryption standard, and we've actually passed quite a few accreditation processes to get the encryption standards to meet all these DoD and federal mandates. It's too wide, too high, 50-inch DLP display. DLP is really the only technology for 24/7 true all night, all day, 365 days a year operation, and this is still the most popular form factor for an Intel or an operations center. These are XGA, they're 1024 by 768, and so what we do is we total that, so across the space, so we're 2048 wide by 1500 pixels wide, so we're allowed to use that entire pixel space to transport a PC source from your desktop to the wall. And this is a traffic management scenario here where we have a map and we have traffic cameras. And so these are all aggregated and brought in from other sources and displayed for the operator. And our graphical user interface allows the user to just grab any content, drag and drop it, size it and scale it, and you can save these presets. For an operator can save a couple of different scenarios and recall them, so they don't have to try to build this display every time they sit down. Just press a button and it all repopulates itself. You can go to our website. It's the www.activu.com.
الأجهزة الإلكترونية التي تستعمل في الأماكن الوعرة لها مواصفات خاصة تراعي البيئة التي تستخدم بها إن كانت عسكرية أو مدنية. من هذه الأجهزة خادم سيرفر SS11 وغيره قدمته مجموعة كريستال هنا في فوسي 2010 بواشنطن.
This is a fully integrated transit case. Rugged transit case, and in this transit case is a rugged dual display. They're both 17-inch displays. They function as a desktop unit. There's also a keyboard and KVM switch, and there are 2 1U servers and 1 2U server in here. This display has shockproof glass. It's sunlight readable. It's also set up so that if you are computing at night and you need to stay hidden or stay secret, you can dim the screen down so that it's difficult to see it during the nighttime hours. This is something that DHS uses if there's a hurricane or an earthquake, anywhere that communications have been disrupted, it can be used. It can also be used in situations where if you've got to be operating outside or in a very harsh environment, this case can be used. So, and the good thing about transit case integration is that you can mix and match and you can put a lot of different things into the case, so it doesn't have to be this exact setup. You could put larger servers or computers in here. You could put a different type of display in here. For instance, you could put a 19-inch display maybe in instead of a dual display. So there's just a lot of different options. It really depends on the customer's requirements. We have customers that put radios in with their computer equipment, with their servers. Right now there's 3 servers in this unit. You can put up to 5 drives in the 2U. You can put 2 drives in the 1Us. With the 3 servers in here, you've got a 9 drive capacity right now. So, but again, you can mix and match. If you put a 4U server in, you can put up to, you could have 48 drives in there if you use rugged drive packs. So it really depends on what the requirements are for the program. and what the customer or the end user needs. What this unit does is it literally slides to the left, it folds in on itself, lays flat in this 2U drawer, and then it can be contained in the rack mount itself. This is a rugged sealed server. It is completely submersible to IP68, so 6 to 9 meters. It was developed for an open cockpit boat, something that was going to be splashed in the water, but also maybe capsized or maybe swamped or submerged. And you still need to be able to carry on communications, and the mission has to go on even if you're underwater. And so this is a fully sealed system. It'll run Windows, Linux. It's running right now, and it's been submerged for 2 days. It runs several different types of operating systems. Right now it's running Windows. It has run Linux. We've loaded Linux on it before. So it really depends on our customer specifications and which kind of systems they would like to run. www.crystalrugged.com.
ضمن التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بآيتاك لمعرض فوسي 2010 بالعاصمة واشنطن، المعرض المتخصص بتقنيات الحكومات والأجهزة الأمنية، شاهدنا معنا اليوم لسرية المعلومات تلفي الأقراص الصلبة علميا، بيئة افتراضية لحماية المعلومات من الفقدان، حرارة جسم الإنسان تكشف الممنوعات، مراكز قيادة لمراقبة شبكات المعلومات، أجهزة صلبة للاستعمالات الوعية. إلى هنا مشاهدي آيتاك عبر قناة الحرة نأتي إلى ختام هذه التغطية الخاصة والحصرية بآيتاك لمعرض فوسي 2010 من العاصمة واشنطن، المعرض المتخصص بتقنيات الحكومات والأجهزة الأمنية. الأسبوع المقبل نلتقي بمكان آخر في العالم. إلى ذلك الحين تواصل دائما عبر بريدنا الإلكتروني aitak@alhurra.com. يمكن مشاهدة هذه الحلقة وحلقات أخرى من آيتاك في أي وقت على موقع youtube.com/الحرة. آخر أخبار التقنيات والبرنامج تابعوها دائما على فيسبوك وتويتر من خلال آيتاك شو. شكرا لكم جميعا وإلى اللقاء.